Welcome back. We'll be starting with the Vanguard newspaper, and on the headlines we have GTCO increases banks paid up capital to 504 billion naira.
And petrol consumption down to 28%. IPMAN groans. Operators recount ordeal, list courses, pump hands idle at stations. It's trying time for us, marketer says. Frequent price changes unhealthy for sector, expert warns.
Tinubu has been fair to all sections of Nigeria. This is from the federal government, and we're seeing wage increase. NECA, NLC urged states to emulate Imo Ebonyi on page 11.
And on page 9, FG says that no sabotage in Abuja-Kaduna train derailment.
2027, Kiamo warns PDP against fielding Jonathan Obi. You can't decide our candidates, PDP replies minister.
Reverse LG polls, APC sweeps 20 councils, PDP 3. Wike hails exercise, Atiku rejects results. That's on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper.
Now to the Guardian newspaper on page 6, we have raw material crisis threatens industrial revival, Nigeria first policy.
Positioning Nigeria as a global player in the $500 billion cosmetics industry.
Atiku cries foul as Wike recaptures Rivers grassroots, Fubara politically adrift.
UNICEF MBA push for reforms to end child detention. That's on page 7. And Dangote turns to Ghana for crude, denies shrinking production, RFCC issues. And that's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Now moving over to Daily Trust. 69 days after launch, farmers await FG's tractor.
Alright, how Governor Buni's actions revive, accelerate basic secondary education in Yobe.
And now over to security issues. Why am pushing for official adoption of non-kinetic approach, Senator Buba says.
Now on the Punch newspaper, we have Rivers LG poll. Atiku demands annulment as Wike reasserts control. Fubara loses local governments. APC wins 20 local governments. PDP claims 3. FCT ministers control temporary Rivers elders on page 2.
And on page 8, reps deny alleged planned showdown with Speaker. And Northwest leads in FEC projects with 5.973 trillion naira, says FG.
Infractions, FG threatens to disconnect Gencos from power grid on page 30. And on page 7, Tinubu police mourn as ex-IG Arase dies at 69.
And on the Tribune newspaper, no region playing second fiddle, none ignored, says FG. Alleges destruction of facts, figures, says verifiable data shows Northwest as least project location cost and the biggest beneficiary of projects.
It's not right for Obi Amechi to promise to serve one term, says El Rufai. Says, I don't think anyone believes them. ADC hasn't taken position. Tinubu can't win on first ballot.
Tinubu Egbertokun mourn passing of ex-IGP Arase, and that's on page 30. And also 4.8 billion naira railway earnings threatened as Abuja-Kaduna Worry Itakpe halt train services. Minister rules out sabotage in Abuja-Kaduna derailment, and that's on page 5 and 30 of the Tribune newspaper.
All right, now moving over to the Daily Times newspaper. Pension, Pencom DG, NLC president meet as Labour insists on inclusion on page 8.
Loan default bite as headwinds threaten banks' profitability. And Tinubu has been fair to all sections of Nigeria, says FG, and that's on page 7.
U.S. closes embassies in Abuja, Lagos today, and FG denies bias allegation, says Tinubu fair to all Nigerians.
And pension funds investment may double over alternative options.
All right, and that's the much we can take on our newspaper headlines this morning. And it's time for our review. We have Chris Maduka in the studio this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Uche. Good morning, Lillian.
Good morning, Chris.
Yes, you ladies are looking suave and drapper.
Wow, it's a new month, so you know.
Well, I can see this new moon. Let it go around though, because you guys have to teach me the secret. Well, welcome to another day on Signature TV newspaper review. I am here again. Now let's start from Vanguard, and that's very interesting because I told them here, I said it here, IPMAN or whatever they call themselves, and they say IPMAN or whatever. Very soon, what they are will come out. It's now morning that fuel consumption in Nigeria has gone down by 28%. I told them right from this seat that very soon they will take this fuel to their villages to water their plants. Because if you have 240 million Nigerians who buy fuel every day at 300 naira, it wasn't enough out of greed and whatever reason they've not told Nigerians. They put the price on average of 1,000 naira. In fact, it was 1,700 until they start coming down up and down. IPMAN will talk, IPMAN will talk, Dangote will talk, NNPCL will talk. The corruption and sleaze do not allow them to see that quantity in business matters. Now they put it at this high price. And they are not ashamed to come and tell us that the consumption of fuel dropped. Let them consume it. What is all this? Why are they playing on our mind? You put the price to non-affordable. And now you are warning that it's not going to go remain at 28%. The consumption of fuel in Nigeria will go down to 100%. They will water their plants. All those corrupt people in oil and gas in Nigeria will take fuel to water their plants. If they don't do that, they will know it's not God that created Nigeria. God gave us oil, the sixth highest producing crude oil in the world. Here we are suffering. Even people who come to buy from Nigeria don't pay the price we pay. And nobody is explaining it. They just want to smile to the banks, blood money at our crying and mourning. It's not yet time for them. Whatever they call themselves. Because these are the people who want to be importing fuel, even when they're not even suggesting to Nigeria to see what they can do. With the money they're using to import fuel in Nigeria, it can build Dangote type of refineries around the 6 regions. They're not money now. They're interested in importing, marketing their blood and sweat. This is what they're doing. So I thank God, very soon it will drop to 50%. If they don't drink that oil, they want to squeeze Nigerians to death with. I pray they will drink it. What else can you do if you cannot find out? Most people are trekking. Go to the street. How many vehicles do you see? And what do they use? And even the solar energy car, driven cars and all that is not yet affordable. It's already at the top. Some of them that are controlling the oil and gas have bought solar energy cars. They have bought electric cars. And they are driving it and using it to, this I will tell you, their mentality and all. But then God is still there for the common man. He will answer us. If he's not going to drop, I still say, 1st of September 2023, the cost, the percentage of consumption will still go down. It will continue to go down until they begin to drink it and water the streets, the plants in the street with it.
All right.
Then, that's just one.
Yeah.
Keyamo.
Yes, that's what I was going to. Yes, exactly.
Keyamo is ordering, as the Minister of Aviation of Federal Republic of Nigeria, he has power to order PDP. Don't. He has order to tell them who to feature as their presidential candidate and all that kind of, Because once you become Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, you can order even the party that molded you and gave you the first walking stick to grow up. You cannot come and order them. The Igbo proverb says, when you have the lion in the bush, when he gets a bad leg, that's when the giraffe and all those small animals will come to say, our lion, you are owing us debt too. That's when they come. So, and that's PDP. Every small animals in the street will come now and tell lion, you are owing us money. That is why Keyamo, he's not the Minister of Information. He's not the government spokesman. Because of he feels he has all the power. He can now talk to PDP. But I don't blame PDP. They fetch the firewood that is ant-infested. They have gradually demolished the party. Anything can happen. Anybody can talk to them. Look at Keyamo telling them who to feature. Don't feature good luck. Oh. Don't feature Obio. Because he will not defeat Tinubu. Even his principal, I'm not sure he told him to say this. What is the problem? All the airports in Nigeria have now finished working at perfect 100 level, 100% perfection. Everything that Minister of Aviation in Nigeria should do for Nigeria, he has perfected it. Keyamo has perfected it. He has now power to tell PDP who to feature and who not to feature.
But it's not only Keyamo that seems to be talking about the whole this thing. Because
That's what
El Rufai is also saying it is not right for Obi and Amechi to.
That is quite different. Obi, Keyamo, and El Rufai, and that is quite different. This one is saying who to feature. When you say something come out, it's still for whether it is Rufai or El Rufai, or whether it's Amechi or what Rotimi, whatever they are, somebody came out and said, this is time to begin to bring out your manifesto. Whatever you can tell Nigerians that can convince them. El Rufai said he's not contesting. He's not. He has gone in public. Amechi said he won't step down for anybody, but he has not told us whether he go for one tenor or not. Why are they quarreling with the man who said, "I will redeem Nigeria image in the governance structure in one single tenor"? And all of them are running around that, and they don't know that they're using mallet to kill flies. Anybody who comments on that has something he's afraid of. They've not told Nigeria. That's what they do not know. I don't know who manages them, and who manages their image and their political talks, and who releases the speeches they release to the press. But this has shown that it's something they are all afraid of. What they cannot do does not exist. And if somebody can do it, everybody will counter it. I believe at this time that they've all tried. Everybody thinks that is their. Once you ascend the throne of Nigerian leadership, you must complete 2 tenors. If not, you start at the second year of your first tenure to campaign, which is what we are seeing now. Anybody who comes and said, I can do otherwise, is that everybody will come and attack. The point is that will tell you that they are politicians. Everyone should be careful. I should think that Amechi and El Rufai are in the same camp of ADC coalition with, and what they are telling us now is becoming very clear. That you went hunting. All of us here went hunting. Now, inside the bush, then Uche and Lillian will turn and say, Chris, you have an animal leg, and you're carrying gun. What does it tell me? That I'm very unsafe. That is the clear implication of whatever El Rufai and Amechi is telling Obi. If they do not believe in themselves, why deceiving themselves in coalition? Why are they coming together? Because they are perfecting what people say they are, and are now working against themselves. They are now working against themselves. What it means is that 3 of us are in coalition. And I said, this is what I'm going to do, which attacks me. And meanwhile, we have a fight to do. What it means, we already divided even before we start the fight. Nigerian politicians will betray all of it. Because, you know why? You have a big fight to go and do what selfishness and greed does not allow you to see the clear image. You begin at home to attack yourself. And my father said, Oguno, home battle is the worst battle you can ever fight. I wonder why the Igbos gave Ikemba Newi. They call him Ikemba, the man who went out to fight. Ikuno. I've never seen anybody they gave Ikuno. This is Ikuno within NDC. But we prefer them to go Ikemba. Go to the center of the battle at the war front of Nigerian political structure. Struggle the power out. Come back and decide whether you do 1 tenor or 2 tenor. This is too early, and it shows they are not united, and it shows that they are even deceiving people who believe in them.
Now, let's look at Rivers State local government polls. APC sweeps 20 councils, and then PDP 3. Wike hails exercise, and Atiku rejects result.
Well, Atiku feels they can be free to reject result. We're expecting the people of River State to reject result. If Atiku comes from Adamawa to come and reject result in River State, then people may not quite understand that whatever has happened in River State has been a big wound in Nigeria democratic political structure. People have talked about whatever has gone there has been abnormal. But it's only Nigeria political structure or democratic system or whatever you call it that you as a student begin to study, you will never graduate. Because you cannot use anything that happened in Nigeria as a case study anywhere. You can't place it anywhere. You only is on its own. So if you study Nigeria political structure, you write, nobody will refer to it because there's nowhere it applies. And there's nowhere you can pick because what is happening in River State has never happened anywhere. So whatever, and it also applies that when the unusual things happen, unusual things begin to follow it. That's why somebody from Adamawa is now rejecting the election that happened in River State. Otherwise, it shouldn't have happened. That's unusualness that has followed Nigeria complexity, and we are totally confused. Nigeria is confused. And the people leading the confusions are Nigerian politicians. Because if you begin to trace the history of what happened in River State, there's been trade with confusion, complexity, and total something you cannot place. But everybody has kept quiet. The good people of River State have taken it in good stride and watching. I'm sure it's not all of them that it's not all rivers that some other people might hold the same opinion with Atiku. But Atiku, because at the level is operating quite far from River State, can safely say this. Otherwise, you know what will happen with when Wike is involved. He's a man who talks fire. So if you want to say anything against whatever, you have to be fair, because when he pushes fire out of his mouth, he's a man who talks with fire. You know, if you talk, you can send fire. And so people speak from far. No wonder Atiku from Adamawa is talking about River State and said, but then he has the reassert control, yes, which is all about this fight. Now it becomes clear why the fight. People are now, of course, people know is who controls River State, the golden geese that lays golden egg for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Who controls, who decides what happened within that enclave that has led to this fight? So if after the Saturday elections and the control has come back, you know, and we begin to have what looks like peace so that the fire will be quenched, well, thanks be to God. But the future still holds a lot for both Nigerian politicians, River State politicians, and even the Riverians. Because if the person who has spoken forget, the person he told will always remember. Let's go.
Now we're seeing this thing on infractions. FG is threatening to disconnect Gencos from power grid.
Infraction. That's the thing. The battle is turning around.
It's turning around.
And you know, when I woke up in the morning and my neighbors were saying everything is turning around. And I keep the door my neighbor turning around, everything turning around. Nigeria is a turning around thing, and it's a turn by turn. If the Gencos do not take, I said, if the Gencos do not take care of it, it will turn around until federal government decide on another generating companies. Because you will generate with federal government assets, you are generating power. You are giving it to the discos. And the discos are now at a point, have these state electricity regulatory commission getting involved in regulating. And you people say, it doesn't work. But the federal government is stepping in and said, Genco, you don't put us in trouble because we are the same government. There's one person who told me, in the scheme of things of God, there's no confusion. Now, I believe in the scheme of things of government of any country, there shouldn't be confusion. But in Nigeria, we see such confusion. By the time the federal government allowed the state governments to have a state electricity commission, Regulatory Commission. They know that certain things will come. And when we start having it, they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be synergy. They're supposed to be agreement, sit together, brainstorm, and find the balance. Instead of Gencos to say it is not possible. And remember I told you, and I was shouting here and said, no part can tell us that if you generate electricity at 2 naira and people are watching, people are generating, they are counting for it. You say it must be sold at 2 naira, and people say we buy it at 1 naira. We'll find a way. You say, then some people say it's not possible. I said no way. You don't have Gencos don't have power. So thank God that the federal government has stepped in to not tell Gencos. So everything is turning around for our good. Because we are the consumers. Once the State Regulatory Commission say it's going to come down to 160 naira, we'll continue. We'll start from there. At least the he-goat said, "Mehai, mehai." You know what? One piece, so even if it's at 160 naira, it's something for the State Regulatory Commission, and we say kudos to them because things are turning around for us. Raw material crisis, the guidance said, is not helping with manufacturing in Nigeria. Yeah. It's the farmers. When the raw materials were most of them are organic things that the farmers produce. But for the last 20 years, farmers have not been going to farm. So they are crying too late because there has been raw material scarcity. And if you want to manufacture clothes, textile, you need cotton. The farmers who go to cotton are half of them are in IDP camps, half of them are dead. Where will the textile industry in Nigeria? Are you going to import all your? So how much are you going to get when you laugh? If you use all your money to import raw materials to manufacture textile and the type you guys ladies are wearing looking smart, how much you may not afford to buy it, and that's the crisis are already long started. So if Nigeria is just noticing it now, it is too late. Yes. And I'm surprised that is coming now. For our former commissioner of police, Arase, that took a final bow, the pull out. That's the final bow everybody takes. For him, in police force, if you are passing out, they do pull out ceremony for you. Mm-hmm. He has pulled out, but then death has come to do the final pull out. Our heart goes with the family and the Nigerian police force. They've lost another gallant officer for that, in as much as retired but not tired. May the soul of Arese rest in peace. Amen. And the angel of heaven singing to sleep. Yes. There's this pension issue.
We're actually out of time, Chris. We're actually out of time.
Okay. Let's leave it at that until another time.
Yes, we can't exhaust all the headlines, but we will just...
Nigeria will have another thing. And they say, may God bless all those who have watched us this morning. God bless Nigeria. And remember, it's for those
who deserve to be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. And now we have come to the end of our newspaper headlines and our newspaper review. Do stay with us because when we return, our conversation continues. Thank you for joining.